All right, let's do some talking now. On Newsnight, we speak to the Honorable Betty Amongi, the Minister of Lands. The Land Amendment Act has raised quite a bit of dust, with many a person saying, wait a minute, as government you're saying you want to first take my land and then you pay me later, we negotiate later. And some are thinking, no, that puts you in a precarious situation as the landowner. But the Minister is clarifying that here tonight. That's coming up on Newsnight.
Newsnight is brought to you by Bank of Africa Mobile Wallet.
Honorable Betty Amongi, thank you for joining us tonight.
You're welcome.
Honorable, tell me, I, as a Ugandan, have a piece of land and the government realizes we need a road to pass here, we need to put up a government project or that kind of thing. So what you are proposing here in this law is that you take my land first and then we begin to negotiate later. And I'm thinking, where in the world does that happen? We've got to negotiate now and agree or get an arbiter if that does not seem to work out, but that you take the land and then you will pay me later. What negotiating powers do I have after that?
That's not my proposal.
What is your proposal?
My proposal is that currently Section 2 to 6 of the Land Acquisition Act spells out all the steps that the assessor, which is the chief government valuer, goes through to determine a price. Determination of a price under the section I've quoted in the Land Acquisition Act is a consultative process with the landowners. And so what I'm proposing is that when all negotiation that I have conducted with you and under the Land Act, there are certain compensation rates that are determined by the District Land Board. So that one is not the power in the ministry. That power rests with the District Land Board. So when my assessor goes to Wakiso, and there is a road passing in Wakiso, the first point of reference is to go to Wakiso District Land Board, obtain prices for surface value for land. Those are crops and any other thing on land. And that is the price we are going to use because it's determined by that district according to that locality. The second stage is for me to negotiate on land value, not surface value, which is determined by that district. When I negotiate with you and I offer you the best price based on the scientific methods that are set down, laid down in my procedure under the law, and I am certain that that is the value, and you reject that value, that is where my proposal comes. My proposal then comes to say, for those who have accepted through the negotiation the value, those ones I will pay them, there's no problem. For you who have rejected, I will then deposit that money in court or any other competent authority. Competent authority, we shall amend the Land Acquisition Act to be defined by Parliament. So competent authority here can be other authority other than court that probably Parliament can determine, which is accessible to the community. And if I deposit money in court or that competent authority, in the process, if you change your mind, you are free to go and pick that money.
Okay, so let's just be sure our viewers are with us.
Yes.
If I disagree with your proposal of the price,
yes,
you deposit that money with the competent authority and
or
then you take
court.
over the land.
Yes.
Here is the interesting thing, Honorable. You see, government, unfortunately, by the way, has a not so good track record of paying. You know, when it comes to compensations, when it comes to court orders, court has severally ordered government to pay, either somebody's rights have been violated or that kind of thing. To date, colossal sums of money have not been paid by government, and people are saying we are going to see a continuation of this because government just does not like to pay its debts. So if my land gets taken, you deposit this money wherever you do, it's going to take donkey's years, if at all, to ever get this money.
Let me first...
That's a legitimate concern, don't you think?
Yes, that legitimate concern, we are addressing it under the Land Acquisition Act, which we are also drafting the principle, because what I'm proposing is a constitutional amendment which will be brought by the Minister of Constitutional Affairs. Then I will amend the Land Acquisition Act to address circumstances where actually I'm making a proposal in the Land Acquisition Act on timing, where dispute resolution should be within a time frame, the way probably the court petitions of presidential election are conducted. So that will be in the land amendment. Because of this being a constitutional proposal, we cannot bring all the nitty-gritty. The other operational nitty-gritty will be in the land acquisition. So I want to assure you that, number one, I will address your concern on dispute resolution timing. That will be in the Land Acquisition Act. When Parliament debates, we shall see whether it will put within 21 days that matter should have been disposed of, or within, because also I want the matter to be resolved. But what I want really to assure the public is that we will be open to proposals, but the reason why we are amending this is that we are already having problems. You raised the issue that we have a lot of debts. No, government debts are not only public debts. The ones that are strictly on public works, where my amendment is, we do not have that much debt. Why?
Well, it's
because
government and in totality, because you see, if your reputation is one of you do not pay your debts for, say, the sugar you get from the shop, you don't pay your landlord on time, it's the same thing, and that's just an analogy. But, Honorable, tongues are wagging, and the question being raised by many a person is, why now? Why is government getting very excited all of a sudden? And, you know, it wants to, in the view of some, in a surreptitious manner, take over the land quickly and that kind of thing, deposit money and so on. Why now?
So the why now is that the 1965 Constitution, land acquisition, sorry, the 1965 land acquisition had a specific section 7 which gave the minister power to take possession of land where there is dispute. That provision was in operation from 1965 until someone went to court in 2011, and there was a constitutional ruling in 2014 that expunged of that section. Then Supreme Court upheld it in 2015, upholding that. So it lay bare the power of the minister, which existed from 1965 to 2015. I had the power as a minister of lands where there is this dispute to enter your land, do public work, and negotiate with you while I'm working. That power was struck off as being unconstitutional because Article 26 stipulated that there must be prior, adequate, prompt payment.
And now you want to bring it in a silent, subtle, clever way.
I want first to answer why now, because most people think it is just some government waking up one day and coming now. The why now is because that section was expunged off. It worked very well from 65 to now. There has never been complaint. That's why you are seated here in a beautiful conference center that was acquired through that law.
I'll tell you why, Honorable, there's so much complaint. You say back then everything seemed smooth. You see, land has become a critical question in this country. Our population is growing. Our land is not growing any further, that's for sure. But also there's been notoriety on the part, and I will not really not say government, but government officials, powerful people in government that have been accused of grabbing land, of roughshoring over people, and they do whatever it is that they want, throw these ones off this property, their property in some cases, and the court has, you know, pronounced itself on that. And that's the suspicion that people see. And once that is there, it becomes problematic because, you see, Honorable, perception is everything at times.
I do understand, but I want people to judge government, and specifically government in respect to land acquisition for public works. What has been the track record of government in respect to public works? I can assure you, as a minister sitting in Ministry of Lands, that in respect to public acquisition, government is the best payer, and it doesn't have debts with many people. I participated in acquisition of land in my constituency for Sino Hydro, for the current electricity. Government paid more than any other private person that was there. And to bring this into perspective, at that time, people who rejected government value were not the people within that vicinity. It were elite class who had known that there was going to be Sino Hydro and this Karoma power dams. They speculated, went and bought land and hiked prices for government. Those are about 7 who rejected the money, went to court, but the rest of the population accepted, and government started work. Now we have only 2 whom we are in court. And those 2 were not the original landowners. So While there are people who are saying this law will target or will affect the rural community, it is the elite class. Tell me who. Now I am battling with the people in Bulisa. The people I'm battling with are speculators who now have titles because they know Sinok, Talo, and Total have a corridor there. They have all run processed titles on sitting customary owners. Now the three companies cannot proceed. Why? Because these people have titles and I have customary owners who would be well off getting the price Sinok is paying, but because these people have titles acquired illegally, they want huge prices and they want to pay the landowners low prices.
Honorable, I must tell you, the biggest challenge you're going to face is trust, that people don't quite trust you people, even when at times you do it right. But you see, because the track record is a little bit wishy-washy and messy, so that is something you've got to work on. But you see, Honorable, now that you are here, I can pick your mind as we wrap this up. And this, in a way, falls within your docket. Bukasa land, that land now, of course, belonging to government, and there's people that have been on this land, they've built all these mansions and different things, and government is coming in. They're on illegal land, they're not supposed to be there. However, the question that some of us keep raising is, where has government been all this while? How do you let people get onto your land? They put up all these powerful structures under your watch, under your nose, and you are doing little, if anything at all, since 2010, and we are seeing government waking up now. Is it a question of incompetence? Is it a question of recklessness? Because you see, as government, you hold this land in our trust. It is my land as a citizen, and I expect government to do a good job of superintending over it, to watch over that my land, and government has failed me in that quest.
What I have got from NEMA is that they have been giving notice and notification to these people for a long time, telling them that that corridor is not land that is supposed to be acquired. And of course, there are people who will go because they know the current law protects tenancy by occupants. They also know this will protect. So,
I don't know, but that's after 12 years. That's what the law says.
No, you see, the assumption of most of the people is that you will not, and you will not be removed without compensation. But what I want to also state is that government is me and you. We are all responsible for following the law. We should then ask ourselves, why is it the elite class, me and you, who knows the law, are the ones breaking the law? And when the right thing is being done, they are the same people who are forcefully refusing. So how do government then help the public to implement the law when those who know the law, if you go to Bukasa, that corridor, you will find that majority of the people there are elite class who knows the law. So I think we also need to start taking responsibility of our action as citizens to know that we must comply with laws and regulations.
On that bit, we totally agree. Citizens should wake up and government should wake up.
Yes.
Honorable Betty Amongi, thank you for talking to us.
You're welcome.
And that was Newsnight.